Hello!
Hello AOS fans!
It's the agents of Gnarlwood.
In this video we're going to run through some of the rules changes that GW haven't spoiled.
Yeah, a few of the little tidbits in there that people might not have noticed that might catch you out if you just assume the rest of the rules are the same.
Yes, we've done a video covering the previous changes that they put on the Warhammer Community website. You can go and look at that now if you want to. But this one is all the little things that they didn't add. When I say little, there's one quite big one.
And we're going to start with the minor steps at the beginning of each round.
But that's not the big one.
It's not.
Clues in the name.
Yes. And they just put some steps at the beginning of each round just to formalise and denote when warbands might inspire if their inspiration condition is out of step of the usual.
Yes, it's kind of to catch the Soul Raid and Morgwares, those ones that they had to have an FAQ for. That's basically, there's now a little, is it the beginning of a round? Check whether you can inspire or not, right at the beginning. So there's been a bit of a change up in how feature tokens work this time around. We already knew that Gloom Hexes were kind of gone, and we also knew that the objectives are back to being objective number side up. They're still called feature tokens, they still have a reverse side, and that reverse side still is a cover hex. But what they also haven't said already is that the other type of hex is a snare hex. But the thing with the snare hex is it doesn't get put down at the start of the game. So you basically, it becomes one of the available feature tokens. And when feature tokens get taken off, so in the olden days when feature tokens got taken off, that was it, they were gone. And now they go into the pile of available feature tokens. And there may be mechanics in the game which allow you to place available feature tokens back on the board.
We first gained those back in Beastgrave days, I think, with lethal hexes, and then they became gloom hexes.
Yes.
And now they're gone again.
But they do exist, they are still snare hexes, but they can only come on in certain situations. And as of yet, we'll talk about this in a second, but as of yet, haven't noticed a way in which you can put them on the board. But yes, so they have still got snare hexes. They do something slightly different if you stand in them now. They stagger you. There isn't a way of putting them directly onto the board in the setup. There is a way of putting feature tokens back onto the board. And that, Pete, is
the plunder rule. So basically, if you've got a warband or a special card or an ability that can remove objective tokens from the field, I think Hrothgorn was a prime example of that one. Before they were gone and discarded, but now they can come back. But the way you put them back on the board is when you take a fighter out of action.
It's a reaction to taking a fighter out of action, and you can place one of the available feature tokens onto the board. But the rule is worded rather badly.
Yeah, the rule itself basically says you can place one feature token back on the board, and then it mentions that you place it with the objective side up, but of course it doesn't tell you what to do if you have got a feature token that doesn't have an objective side.
And bear in mind that you will have two from the available pool when you start, because you won't have put them down. And this is rather confusing, and I actually had to check with Path to Glory guru Aman, I think does playtesting, because he did email Dave Sanders about it, and basically you cannot place a snare hex with the plunder rule. That is the unofficial official ruling on that so far. I'm guessing it's going to need to be FAQ'd. It's kind of implied because it does say you have to put them objective face up, but it does call them feature tokens, so it is a bit confusing, frankly.
It wouldn't be a new release of Underworlds without an FAQ immediately required.
The next change, and it's back to an old ruling I think, and that is they've changed the power step. Now, the players whose activation it was gets to play the power card first.
Yeah, they changed it once back in probably
Harrowdeep?
Harrowdeep, yeah, I think so. They changed it around Harrowdeep, confused us all, and they put it back again. Yeah,
I think just intuitively it wasn't working for me.
No, it wasn't working for me either.
And we saved the biggest change till last.
Huge.
And it kind of ties in with the power step. The power step has changed so that the person whose turn it is first, gets to use the power step first. They've done it with reactions too.
Whoa. This hasn't changed since day one, since the first season, since Shadespire days.
Poor old Hrothgorn, or not poor old Hrothgorn, Hunter's reflexes that used to interrupt all sorts of manner of things. And the bats. Yeah,
the bats and the Snarlfangs, they're poor old Snarlfangs, their attack used to get interrupted left, right and centre, no longer.
So this is a good ruling for Snarlfangs. The Snarlfangs already probably got a boost from the reduced, or being able to reactivate after a move's charge.
The charge rules,
so it's another boost for Snarlfangs. But basically, you're going to get that wolf attack in, because it's going to be you reacting first.
Yeah, unless you choose not to and do something else, but you never know. I think this is a really good change because I think the reaction step was always the most awkward in a game, that you play some things, you start to get a bit carried away and you've already got it all planned out, so you roll your dice, you push it back, I'm going to play this, and your opponent goes, wait, I want to do something here and I get priority.
Yeah, and then you've kind of given away that you've got a card.
Exactly, and then it's awkward and you can't make eye contact.
So I think this change and the power step change, and indeed I think in some ways the charge changes are kind of like almost quality of life changes. They just make the game flow a bit better. You've got no awkward, I'm just going to draw a card because I can't do anything, I'm just going to draw a card. None of that, that's gone. And now, as Pete says, you've kind of got rid of that, no, after you, after you.
Oh no, I insist.
It's literally, if you've got a reaction, you can play it, and if you haven't got one, your opponent knows, right, it's time for me to react now. I think that's going to be pretty huge. I imagine the competitive players out there will probably really know how big it's going to be. Yeah. For us, it doesn't really make a massive difference, but I think it's
not a massive amount.
I think it's going to be a big change in the game.
It definitely, I think even from a casual level, it improves the quality of the gameplay. So I'm looking forward to seeing this change. So as we said, do check out our other video to list all the other changes that GW have themselves already published, and let us know in the comments below if we've missed any other rule changes out that you've spotted.
Absolutely. And also do check out our playthrough videos. There will be 2 up on pre-order day. We'll be playing both the games with the Rivals decks that are in the box.
So we'll see you soon in the Gnarlwood.